Welcome to the video blog of Aurora Hills Church. It's personal. And I'm Pastor Charlie. Steve is also here with me today. We want to talk a little bit about how people are designed to love. The fact is that God created all of these things, but humankind was created uniquely and set apart as something special in all of creation. We're unique in the fact that in some ways, we're created with some of God's own divine nature, and we're unique in that we can respond to love and love back. And so one of the key verses that it begins to explain that is at the very beginning of the Bible, in the first chapter of Genesis, where it says, "Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our own likeness."
Love does require choice. We choose to love. That is why free will is a gift from our Lord. God would never force someone to love Him or to love someone else. The essence of divine love is a willingness to put the interests and needs of others before ourselves. It is sacrificial and other-orientated. It says in 1 John 15:13, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for his friends." And in 1 John 3:16 it says, "This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down His life for us."
So what does godly love look like? What does the love that God has for us look like? And what is the kind of love that He calls us to? Well, God defines that in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Let me read just a little of that. "Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. It always perseveres. Love never fails."
This is why we should never treat people with disdain. They all deserve our love and respect, irregardless of their color, their worldview, their religion, or their political bent, because they were all created in the image of God. In Job chapter 34:19, it says here, "God shows no partiality to princes and does not favor the rich over the poor." And in Luke 6, it says here, verse 27 and 28, "But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you." That's pretty hard to do sometimes with our natural abilities. But with God, all things are possible.
And yes, we can disagree with what other people believe and do. But the biblical mandate is that we would do that with gentleness and respect for each other. One of the great things that seems to be lacking today as people are constantly communicating with each other, nobody's listening. Everybody's sending, but they're not paying attention to what they receive as often. And so we're taught as Christians that we should not be stiff-necked and quick to judge. But that's kind of where the culture has gotten to. There are a lot of online trolls and haters and other words for people who are that knee-jerk, get-em-back kind of mentality. And it's kind of like what Jesus warned us about in Matthew when He said, "Because of the increase in wickedness, the love of most will grow cold."
The wickedness I see in the world today, the hatred of God, the hatred of His Son Jesus Christ and His followers, the hatred towards people that disagree about your worldview, is part of that love growing cold. I think it's also part of the godlessness that was predicted in the last days. God warned His followers about the days we are living in, and He told us not to lose heart, but to look up, because His return is very, very near. So I want to encourage all of you to appropriate God's sacrificial love for others. And there's only really one way we can do this, is to believe in His Son, Jesus Christ, who He is and what He did for us on the cross. Then God promises to help us by giving us His Spirit, to help us love others the way He loves us.